Hey guys, it's Jason from Aquarium Reptile Depot in Citrus Heights. We are gonna talk about setting up a planet aquarium. And we're gonna give you some tips, we're gonna give you just a little bit of some tricks, and then we'll kind of just give you kind of a baseline of what we need to get started with a planet aquarium. A lot of people ask, where do you start? I mean, realistically, you gotta find the tank. We are, at our store, we have a whole showroom of tanks. We just need to find out the tank that you are working with as far as the room that you have in your home or your business. It doesn't matter the size. We can basically work with anything. Of course, smaller aquarium, then we got to do less things in there. Bigger the aquarium, we can do a little bit more investment, right? So pros and cons with everything. That's what we're here to do. Try to give you some value, trying to make sure you succeed in this hobby. That is our goal here. So let's find a fish tank, right? You can go with just a standard traditional tank as far as just empty, and we can outfit it all. We have kits on this side, and then we have anything from Fluval to Red Sea to UNS. We have the AquaWorks waterfall tank. So there's so many options. They're constantly coming in. New products are coming in. So just have to give us something to work with, right? Like the pros with the kits is they come generally with the tank, the filter, and the light. That's a big brunt of the tank that you need. And then if you do just the tank by itself, you're just buying the tank. So then we just got to discuss about everything else. But if you're looking to customize, you're looking to do something a little bit different as far as what the kits don't come with, then we can check out the tanks over there. So this side is more traditional tanks. We got some Aqua ones, we got some Zoom Eds, we got some more UNS, which is Ultra Nature Systems, right? Like the nice thing about tanks that we have here is basically you can find most tanks, anything from huge to small, right? So like a small tank from UNS, like this is a little tiny little tank that you could put on your desk, and we can aquascape this little guy out. There's no issues with that. Like if you want a tank, we'll find you a tank. Like we'll make it work anywhere that it fits. But let us know what you like. Rimless, rim. There's so many different ways to look at black silicone, clear silicone. There's just so many options now. You can even set up one of the reefer Red Seas. You can do a Nios tank with a sump, and we have those on display. So you just gotta let us know where we want to start, and then we can show you the rest of it once we decide on the tank that you go with. Before we get to the rest of the video, I want to let you know that there's going to be a question of the day, and the question of the day is how to prevent algae, or maybe if you already have algae, how to get rid of it. But let's go back to the video. That will be answered in a little bit. All right, once you determined what size tank that you go with, then we got to figure out how to aquascape the tank, because you want to do a planet aquarium. So we want to make sure that you have foundationally the most important, probably one of the most important things. Once you got your filter, your heater, all that is already taken care of, no matter what. You need that for any aquarium. Substrate. That is where most plants are going to root into your aquarium. And we got a couple different options, but we really like UNS. The contra soil here works really nice. This is like the kind of like the mud-based soil there that's in circular form, allows the roots to really get in there and absorb the nutrients. This packs nutrients for your plants. Yes, we have some other Eco Complete from Carib Sea. We have some Fluval. We have some different ones, but that's really important. Once we figure out the tank, then we'll determine about how much substrate you need, about 1.5 to 2 inches for a planet aquarium. And if you wanted to cap it, you certainly can do that with some decorative sand. UNS has a lot of nice color combinations. You don't have to, but some customers like a certain look that they're going for, and they want that on the very surface of it so they can create the aesthetic look of it. And that's pretty straightforward as far as just getting your planet substrate going. All right, you are prepared to aquascape the tank with the substrate. So now we're at the hardscape of the planet tank. Hardscape usually means rocks, as we have here, like dragonstone, ceru stone, different types of rocks, different looks of it. It just creates different textures for a planet aquarium. Yes, you want something lush, probably, if you're doing a planet tank, and it's green and so forth and so on, but you need some substance, basically, as far as a tank to give it that natural look. And that's what we're trying to do with the scape, right? An aquascape, like a landscape kind of thing. So we're trying to do that. Just think about it like you're you're landscaping your home, right? You have some different rocks, you have some trees, you have some plants, you have some grass, you know, things like that. We're trying to create the same thing, but underwater. That's why for the aquascape, it's really important to kind of pick out some nice looking rocks, ones that don't change the chemistry too much as far as the, of course, the Planet Aquarium that you have. So that's why Cirrus Dragonstone is so popular. They may increase the pH a little bit, but very, very slightly. And you got to make sure that it is aquarium safe before you put it in the tank. And then we have wood over here too. Really popular is the ghost wood, the mopani, the spider wood, Malaysian driftwood. Super popular for the aquascape. And those generally will give you a little bit more height. The rocks are good for kind of for your scape on the bottom. And then the wood will kind of shoot up. Some people have it even out of the tank, which just kind of creates a different dimension. And that's why wood looks so impressive in a tank, just because it looks like roots going into the aquarium. And that's when you have a local fish store like us, you can come in and cherry pick these pieces of wood, because it's like furniture in your home. Some people like it a little bit more minimalistic. Some people like it a little bit more cluttered, I would say, and that's completely okay. Like, pros and cons with both of those, but once you put wood, once you put rock, once you put substrate, you have a lot of surface area for beneficial bacteria, and that is what provides a thriving ecosystem. So got to remember that you got to make sure you have enough beneficial bacteria if you want a successful aquarium. It's time to add plants, and we get plants in all the time here. You just caught us on a great day. This is just 5 boxes. This is, I guess we get this in all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of choices that you guys can get from us. We have a lot of pots. We have a lot of mats. This is so big, I can't even lift it, but yeah. These are mats. Whoa.
Here.
Yeah.
They're mine, right?
Yeah. Guess so. Yeah, there's carpeting. So yeah, once you tell the specialists here what you're looking for, as far as like, if you're looking for something carpeting, if you're looking for something for the background, for the midground, for the foreground, we kind of have all those plants. You got to decide too, if you want a low-tech plant or high-tech plant. Usually low-tech plant means a little bit lower nutrients, a little bit lower light, usually not CO2 injected, but then you have customers that really want to go high-tech, and that means a lot of the carpeting plants, so you need a little bit more stronger light. You need to inject it with CO2. You got to fertilize, make sure you give enough nutrients for the roots. So there's a lot of different ways that we can do it. Try not to keep it too complicated. You want to keep it simple, but options for everybody. If you have an aesthetic that you're going for, definitely bring a picture, bring a video, see what you're trying to go for. Then we have a better understanding of what you're trying to do for the tank. We are here to answer the question of the video here, and that is how to get rid of algae or how to prevent algae. All right, let's talk about how to prevent it so you don't have to deal with it. Lighting. That's probably one of the biggest things that most customers will run into. I have a Chihiro's light here. That is a great light because it has a built-in timer. Not only is it a very strong light, but it has a timer that has an app, and you can set the intensity and you can set the duration that it's on. You also have to remember, if you don't have a Chihiro, which is fine too, by the way, you can always just add a timer to your light. You want to keep it simple, but you want to be consistent. Like most things in this aquarium, consistency is the biggest thing here, and we want to make sure that you're disciplined on it, and the less responsibilities that you have, then you give it to a timer so then it can be on. We recommend about 6 to 8 hours of light for most situations. And then you also have to remember, if it's near a window or near an area in your home that gets a lot of light, you got to keep that into consideration as well. So if it's near a window, maybe buy some blinds for it. Maybe you have to close the blinds, especially when you get a lot of light in there. Okay, well, let's say, unfortunately, you still have algae. And that's normal too, and we have seasons where you're gonna get a little bit more algae. In Sacramento, we get a lot of light during the summertime here, so we get a lot more light, a lot more warmth in our home, so therefore that means that generally your aquarium will get a little bit more algae. I would say a UV sterilizer is very, very beneficial to most aquariums because this will actually sterilize the algae from growing. And if you're concerned about getting rid of too much of the bacteria, so forth and so on, there's timers that you can set for this as well, and you don't have to have it on all the time. But this ultraviolet light comes in really handy. as opposed to like chemicals, which we do sell. If you like that, go that process, then we can. It just takes a lot of oxygen, so you gotta be a little careful once you're dosing with chemicals. But there's also natural ways of taking care of it too. So depending on how big your tank is, what's in the tank, where the algae's at, one of the aquatic specialists here can recommend maybe a snail, maybe an autosynclus, maybe some other algae eater in here that can take care of the algae too. So hopefully that helps you guys a little bit out if you have a little bit of algae or trying to prevent some algae in your aquarium. Speaking of which, we are at one of our display aquascape planet tanks here. This is a UNS 90LA. This has been set up for quite some time. As you can see, we have the substrate that we discussed. We have some dragonstone, we have some cholla wood in here, and of course the plants. They're thriving in here. We have a twin star light on it. I wouldn't say this is high tech. This is probably medium tech because we don't have a lot of carpeting plants, but we have a lot of floating plants on the surface too. And we're injecting it with CO2. This tank's got some Harlequin rasboras, got some annual male killifish in here. We like the look. It's got some different colors, got some different textures, and that's why like you can kind of create something similar, maybe something better, maybe something more simple, whatever you like. I mean, we have a lot of different examples here, so you can use us as a inspiration. So come in, talk to one of the specialists, tell us what you're looking for, and we'll try to help you out. But yeah, this is just a quick little video about how to set up an aquascape tank and give you some ideas and some things to think about before starting one too, or maybe you want to upgrade yours or add another one. So hopefully you like this video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on all our social media. We really appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one.